And we are live. What's going on, you guys? It is Perry the Entertainer back again for another video. This video, we are going to be talking about the April 27th edition of Monday Night Raw, breaking down the best of. And as you can tell, we are live right now on Google Hangout. And I have a friend with me here to help me break down some of the best stuff coming out of tonight's Raw. So please introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? This is your man Tommy CB once again rolling it with my man PTE, doing this thing one more time.
Yes, you know him from my WrestleMania review. You were with me at the WrestleMania review too. Fortunately, we couldn't get Kevin on. So
yeah, as you can see, we're just the two of us. Our brother is not going to be joining us. Our New Day brother, our Twitter New Day brother.
I am now the palest New Day fan in the history of the internet. So, but no, tonight's Raw was held in Green Bay, Wisconsin, title town to some people. And by the way, do you have any social media or anything you'd like to plug before we start or anything?
Yeah, you can follow me at TommyCB, TOMMIECB, and I'll be doing an Extreme Rules review. I know it'll be a little late, but I couldn't get anybody to do a live review with me, so look for that to come out maybe Wednesday, and I'll probably do a quick Raw review while I'm at it. So just be on the lookout.
All right, and obviously you're listening to this on my YouTube channel, so make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I want to thank each and every one of you guys who take time out of your day to listen to the show, and you can obviously follow me on Twitter as well at the PTE Show. We live chat during Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, and all sorts of stuff like that. We're gonna dive right into some of the best stuff coming out of tonight's Raw, and to be honest with you guys, if you missed tonight's Raw, it's not going to be that big of a deal because not a whole lot of stuff really did happen. Just a lot of confirmations for what to expect at WWE Payback in just a couple weeks here. And with the return of King of the Ring, which is actually what we're going to touch on first here. Tommy, the concept's finally back into fruition. A lot of us fans have been actually asking for a revamped King of the Ring just for several years now. I think the last King of the Ring we had was 5 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, like 2008.
Sheamus, right?
Sheamus. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking my mind's gone. I'm sorry.
Do you like the concept? Do you like the concept being back? Do you have any favorites right now? What do you think about the King of the Ring being back?
I was one of the many that wanted to see King of the Ring come back. I'm glad it's back. As far as the concept, no complaints here.
Do you agree with all 8 participants in there? Do you feel that they got all of them on the nose? Do you feel that they missed out on someone?
When I first saw the 8 participants, I pretty much and I noticed Ziggler and Sheamus, and I figured I was like some other people thinking it was going to most likely come down to those 2, but I agree with the 8 participants.
Okay. I just still find it kind of ironic how I think 6 of the 8 participants were all in the IC Championship title match at Mania, with the exception of obviously Sheamus being out due to injury and Neville, who hadn't even debuted yet. But I'm on the same boat with you. I kind of liked all 8 participants, but the one person that I just couldn't understand why he was in there was R-Truth. I felt that he really had no business being in here. This could have been a spot for someone like a Damian Sandow or a Curtis Axel or, hell, even like a Fandango. I tried arguing the case for Eric Rowan on Twitter earlier today. I felt like just that one spot was kind of wasted to someone who really didn't need it. But the 4 matches that we got, Dolph Ziggler versus Bad News Barrett, which actually opened the show, R-Truth versus Stardust, Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose, and Neville versus Luke Harper. The 4 participants that moved on, Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, Sheamus, and Neville. They are your final 4 for the King of the Ring. So one of those 4 will be your next King of the Ring. I think they're going to be crowning.
I thought Barrett won tonight.
Did Barrett win tonight?
I thought Barrett. Yeah, Barrett beat Ziggler because Sheamus came out there.
That's right, because that was during the first hour of Raw, and I don't know. Apparently, we couldn't get the image of Sheamus's ass out of our head. I guess. I mean, it's still haunting our dreams. So, Tommy, do you think that they got the 4 participants right? Do you think the guys, Bad News Barrett, R-Truth, Sheamus, and Neville all were the right people to go over in their matches?
Like I said before, I personally, when I first saw the field, I immediately assumed it was going to most likely come down to Ziggler and Sheamus, and maybe Sheamus possibly getting his win back. But we saw otherwise tonight. Ziggler lost to Barrett, and judging from this Final Four, you said it was Barrett. Who else? R-Truth, Neville, and who else?
Sheamus.
Okay, so maybe it's coming. Maybe it's going to come down to Neville and Barrett. But then again, like Sheamus just came back, so why would you want him to lose again? That's kind of the conflicting part. But I mean, if it comes down to R-Truth and Sheamus is going to win. But I got to believe it's going to come down to Neville and Barrett, and I think maybe Neville will win. It'll be kind of like something to get him going.
I think so. I'm completely on the same ship with you again. I think that Neville going over and winning King of the Ring would probably do wonders for him, especially this early on in his career. Kind of get him established, because that's been the problem with WWE lately is they've kind of been just kind of throwing him around, giving him to Rollins a couple weeks ago. Then he was fighting Sheamus on SmackDown a few weeks ago. Then he was all in the IC title picture with him and Barrett and all of them. He didn't really have a defined area or a defined status on the show. So establishing him as the King of the Ring, having him have a phenomenal match that he had with Luke Harper tonight. Definitely recommend you check that out if you have not done so already.
And one more thing I want to say, I don't mean to cut you off. Maybe him winning this will be, do wonders for him, like unlike what they did with Cesaro winning the Battle Royal, and just hopefully just leads to something better for Neville moving forward.
True. But here's the thing with Cesaro, though. I feel the WWE knew that Cesaro really wasn't ready for the main event yet. I think, and hell, that's why putting him with Paul Heyman right after that just kind of didn't work. Paul did as much as he could with him, and Paul, being the brilliant genius mastermind guy that he is, couldn't get Cesaro over. So this is all in Cesaro at this point, but this isn't about Cesaro. This is about Neville, and just he doesn't even need to really talk to get himself over. He's got that just natural likability to him, and I think he's probably the favorite. He is the favorite right now, I think, to win the King of the Ring, and I do agree with you that I think it comes down to Barrett and Neville, but I don't know exactly why WWE would put R-Truth in this position. Maybe just kind of heel versus face or something like that, maybe. Because then we all know WWE just does not like doing face versus face or heel versus heel matches. But Sheamus distracted Dolph Ziggler, so he cost him that match, so that feud's going to probably keep going. So all of you who thought Dolph Ziggler was leaving after winning at Extreme Rules, because yes, he did win, people, despite kissing Sheamus's ass after the show or after the match, but
this is arse.
He kisses arse. Sorry, they're PG. I forgot all about that. I'm so sorry. So, but Ambrose versus Sheamus, something happened in this match that kind of it caught your eye. I think you said kind of a little bit of a tease for a Dean Ambrose possible heel turn. I think. Was it something like that?
I didn't get a chance to watch all of it because, like I said, I was kind of switching back and forth between Raw and some of the NBA games. So if y'all know if y'all saw, let me know what happened, or just give us your thoughts.
I have no idea what happened. I actually kind of missed that match because I was going to get my food at the time. But from what I heard, Ziggler kind of cost Sheamus his match, and that would be the perfect time to actually turn Ambrose into a heel if you even intend on doing it. But I think right now he's kind of just too over as a babyface to even think about and contemplate, turning him into a heel. But I don't know. I think King of the Ring right now is just being thrown around as kind of just a concept. It's just it's just a concept. I don't think we're really going to be getting anything out of it. I mean, unless Neville wins. If Neville wins, then we're going to see, maybe King Neville or something. He can actually take a gimmick that isn't the Mighty Mouse gimmick that they wanted to give him in the first place. But I could see Barrett winning too. I mean, that's the nice thing about, especially with this Final Four, you can see all four guys winning. I mean, maybe not R-Truth, but you can see Sheamus, Bad News Barrett, and Neville winning. But let us know your King of the Ring thoughts down in the comment section below. That was one of the biggest parts of the night. 4 awesome matches, and I think we're gonna move on to we have 3 topics tonight. The second one we're going to be talking about is John Cena versus Rusev. The final chapter will be written in, I think, 2 weeks now, or is it 3 weeks since in Payback?
Yeah, a couple of weeks from now.
A couple weeks from now for Payback. We will be seeing John Cena versus Rusev in an I Quit match. The silence here is it's impeccable. We don't want to see this. I think that this feud's run its course, but Tommy, what do you like about? Is there anything you like about the unnecessary gimmick match for here, or is there anything you like about it at this point? What do you think about John Cena versus Rusev?
The only possible thing I could see, and this is like I said, me being kind of talking crazy, but I could see a point where Cena puts him in the STF and Lana just throws in the towel or something. This is again something just. I thought off the top of my head being crazy, and then that kind of could be the tipping point to a Lana Rusev split. I think eventually, I think Payback is eventually going to be for now the on-screen split of Lana and Rusev.
Yeah, they've definitely been teasing some dissension between Lana and Rusev, and I think this date's kind of back to was it a couple weeks before WrestleMania, before when John Cena kind of forced Lana to give him that opportunity to fight him at WrestleMania.
And then, of course, at WrestleMania, he was like, he was going off at Lana after the match.
The first chapter in Rusev's burial started, but
again, though,
go ahead.
I was saying, but again, the question is the $1 million question is, if you pull the trigger on a Lana Rusev split, what do you do with Lana? I mean, again, a conflicting situation. Like I've said, maybe have her drop the Russian accent and just have her come back as CJ Perry. But again, really, would that really kill her momentum? I mean, she's already over, so I don't think it would really make a difference.
I mean,
it's just how it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I'm finished. But like I said, what do you do with Lana post if you have her split with Rusev? That's basically the main question.
Well, I was joking about the concept of having her kind of go like, she was held hostage or something by Rusev, and she has to go become Americanized or something like that. Kind of joking with the concept. Now, honestly, teasing the dissension between the two. And Lana's got to be on TV somehow. I mean, she's got to be. It's not like she's just going to be a pretty face forever. Maybe she goes to train or something, and she comes back as a wrestler, or she comes back Americanized and comes back with someone like Jack Swagger. Do you have her keep the accent, or do you make her drop it? She can drop the accent. I don't think
So you have her. So you have her just come back as herself. See, like I said, CJ Perry, and kind of say, "Oh, Lana is dead."
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the accent really doesn't define the character in this case. I mean, she's still shitting on America. It's not like just because if she drops the accent, she's not going to just automatically become this good old Southern girl or whatever the hell she's from. I think she's from LA, but
I think she's from. Well, I know she's like. I think she's a Florida girl, I believe. I know she went to school at Florida State, so.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, she is so over that you do feel that maybe if you do drop the Russian thing with her, that you could possibly ruin the character behind it, if that makes any sense. And we're actually kind of starting to see that with Damian Sandow, and I don't really want to go into that because that wasn't really a big important part of the night, but he kind of just came out as this kind of just natural, likable guy and beat the shit out of Curtis Axel. But I wanted to use that as an example because he's been so over the last couple of weeks that's something you can't really screw up, That's something that if you do screw that up, it's going to be looked at as a missed opportunity. And Sandow, along with Dolph Ziggler, has had tons and tons of missed opportunities.
Yeah,
especially Ziggler,
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like what you said with the dropping the accent thing. I don't think the accent defines the character in this sense. I think
And
that
then
it's
you
just,
got to factor in the that she's doing a movie with Edge, and yet she's also got the other movie she's got coming out. So that's also another thing. But I don't think WWE's going to promote that Pitch Perfect movies anyway. So I think that's that'll be a non-factor. But it's just, do you just have her keep the gimmick, or I don't even know we don't know how her dialect is going to be in that movie with Edge. Is she going to be herself, or is she going to go in there as Lana, keep the Russian accent?
I don't know. I really don't know what WWE has in store for that. Is it a WWE film?
I believe it. I believe it is.
Is it?
I
Because
believe it is.
if it is, it's going to be interesting because I think that might be the reason why they are splitting the two. Is, once this movie does come out, they're expecting, she's going to be either this American girl, or she might keep the Russian thing but drop the accent, like you said. But I don't know. Maybe this is all because of kind of the movie. Maybe that's the reason why they're kind of rushing it, and why the entire feud just feels stale at this point. But
Yeah.
like we said, I Quit match at Payback between John Cena and Rusev for the United States Championship. So basically, you're writing in the card John Cena is going to win. I don't think Cena's ever lost an I Quit match. But the main question with this feud, besides where does Lana go from here, is where does her bodyguard go? Where does Rusev go from here, going 0-3 against John Cena? Tommy, what do you think? Where does Rusev go from here?
Well, you gotta say 1-3 technically, since he won at Fastlane.
I guess you can classify that as a win. So yeah, 1-2. Okay.
Yeah.
Even though I don't even classify that as a win, that wasn't a pinfall win.
It was like a pass out by submission.
It was that pass out shit that he's been doing with Swagger and all those guys too. So, but still, what do you think about Rusev just not really getting a pure win over John Cena, like a real 1-2-3, and just go from here?
I think I'm trying to think of something that Good Mike Ward said in his Extreme Rules review. Rusev, he's working with the top guy. I don't think he's going to be completely buried. And like he said, if it'd be different if Cena just came out there, beat the shit out of Rusev in like 2 minutes and won. But I think Rusev will be fine. Bray, look at Bray Wyatt. I mean, Bray, he's worked with Cena and The Undertaker, so it's almost like you almost kind of forget he lost to Cena the way he did in 2014 to go from that and have a WrestleMania match with Undertaker.
You realize he's feuding with Ryback now, right?
Yeah, I realized that.
He's started.
And we saw Bo Dallas being more creepy, maybe.
Maybe it is just the aura. I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors going around that, they are planning on putting Bo and Bray together. And I mean, that's kind of that should just be a given at this point. I mean, you already know that they're brothers. I mean, it's pretty much already been, clarified at this point.
So that'll be another tag team for the division, maybe.
If they wanted to go that way. If they totally wanted to go that way.
I think they will. Maybe they'll put him in for pushing for a tag team title reign.
Maybe Bray really doesn't need Bo, but I use Bray Wyatt as an example because Bray Wyatt is the purest example in WWE of wins and losses do matter. Mm-hmm. He is. He lost the feud to Jericho. He lost the feud to Cena. He lost a feud to The Undertaker. He won an irrelevant feud with Dean Ambrose, which a lot of people, and including myself, thought that this feud was going to be fantastic. It was just imagine the mic work between the two. And the feud came out as just kind of pure shit. It just felt like it was dragged on for too long. And look where he is now. He's in a feud with irrelevant Ryback over nothing. And I feel that might be the direction of Rusev coming out of this. I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff coming on that Rusev might feud with Roman Reigns coming out of Payback, maybe. But you need to do something to put Rusev back on the map, especially if you're going to have him lose a third straight pay-per-view to John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a whole lot of people that have kind stories about feuds with Cena. I mean, look at Nexus for that matter. So, and I hate using that, but that's probably the perfect example for that too. But any closing thoughts? Oh, by the way, with they had the whole open challenge thing again tonight. I think both of us have kind of gone off on that already. How we don't really like that concept, and then them kind of already, confirming that Cena's gonna be fighting Rusev at the pay-per-view. But going on with the U.S. title matches anyway, I think we've already gone over that. But Heath Slater ended up making his intentions known tonight and ended up getting his ass whipped by Rusev anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts on the John Cena Rusev thing?
Like I said, I think I'm good. I'm trying to come up with something, but I think I'm good right now.
All right. I'm good too. So, I'm gonna check. I don't think we have any comment questions at all anymore. I don't know. I can't see right now. Maybe does it show up on the stream?
No, I don't see anything right now.
No. Okay. We're gonna be talking about the last thing of the night, which is probably the biggest thing coming out of the night. This, besides the King of the Ring, is as you can tell in the title, the Payback main event has been confirmed. It will be a triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins, the champion, will be defending against Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. Randy Orton's gonna be getting a rematch because I guess they're gonna be using the whole technicality shit with. Will Rollins use the RKO in last night's cage match? So Orton's going to be back in it, and Reigns put irrelevant Big Show away. So I guess that puts Reigns in due for a championship match. So it all culminated in a big tag team match that happened tonight between Reigns and Orton versus Kane and Seth Rollins. And we've known that the dissension between Kane and Seth Rollins has been going on for a while too. Ended up continuing after tonight, where Rollins accidentally hit a suicide dive or something. Ended up missing both Orton and Kane, or he missed Orton and Rollins, hit Kane, and Kane went apeshit and beat up Rollins. Rollins ended up taking an RKO and a Superman punch for the loss. And that was when we got the confirmation that we will be getting a triple threat match for the world title at Payback. So, Tommy, what do you think about the entire situation? Do you like Rollins as champion right now? I think that's probably the first question I should ask you, because I know a lot of people are giving Rollins flack that he isn't the champion that people have been expecting. So, what do you think of Seth Rollins as champion so far?
Yeah, it's only 1 month. I mean, it's not. My question to you is: do you see Seth as a transitional champion?
It's transitional to who? To Roman Reigns?
Like, of course, Seth's not gonna. I don't think Seth's gonna have a 400-day reign as champion. But like I told you earlier before we went live, I think somehow Seth is gonna lose the championship at SummerSlam.
I don't know, because I still think that Vince is haunted by CM Punk's name being on the title reigns list. So I'm thinking it is still a possibility that WWE could go the way of having Rollins as the champion for a year or something like that. I mean, you still got a rematch between Seth and Brock looming. So there is still that possibility that WWE could put the title back on Brock.
But again, though, it's like if you I said before, if you have to depend on Brock to keep the thing afloat, what does that say to the other guys on the roster? You're not good enough, so we have to depend on Brock. I mean,
well, you
I want to see.
You got in perspective of how you got to put in perspective as to how big Brock is right now. I mean, this is the guy that ended the streak. This is the
That's
guy
what I'm
that
saying.
beat John Cena and the way he did.
Brock is that big of a attraction. To me, he doesn't need the championship. It's just an added. It's like I said, when he first won it, I said it was basically just extra incentive. It's just to me, he didn't need the title, but he beat the streak. He beat the streak. You knew he had to win the championship, but like I said, he doesn't need to be champion necessarily because he's that big of a name, a big of a draw, big what whatever. You know, people are going to tune in to see Brock regardless of whether he's champion or not. So I just didn't like the fact that they needed to depend on Brock to keep the company afloat when you got a whole, you know, room full of guys that could just do it, keep the company afloat, but yet you have to put all your eggs in one basket per se.
Could you say the same for Seth Rollins though? Because even before he won the championship, remember WWE made him out last year to basically be public enemy number one. You remember they had him kind of as the villain to John Cena for a while, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, especially Ambrose. They dragged that thing between him and Ambrose out after the Shield broke out. They brought that out until what, like Hell in a Cell, like October or something like that. They dragged that out till, and then after that, he ran right into a program with John Cena. So WWE went out of their way to kind of make Seth Rollins public enemy number one because they knew that Brock was not going to be able to show up at every event. And now that he's the champion, he has another reason to be public enemy number one. So to answer your question, is he going to be a transitional champion? I would say yes, if it's going to be to Roman Reigns. I think if WWE does plan on giving the belt to Roman Reigns, I think having Seth be the one that gives it to him, it would work better if it was Seth and not Brock. I think that might be the reason why they didn't pull the trigger on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, because they knew that having Roman beat Brock, a guy who just destroyed The Undertaker just a year prior, destroyed John Cena 6 months prior. You know, I think to have Roman kind of just get the straight up victory over him, I think WWE kind of realized that was not going to be very believable to fans. So having Rollins go out there and cash in his briefcase, I think that was the more believable factor. And I think WWE right now is kind of looking out for believability at this point. But I see him being a transitional champion if they're going to give the belt to Roman. Now, they're not going to give it to him at Payback. That's pretty much a given.
I think it happened at SummerSlam.
If they want it to happen at SummerSlam, I would not be opposed to it if it was going to be at SummerSlam.
Like it has to happen at a big venue. I don't want to see Roman win the championship at Money in the Bank or something, because it's like it's not going to be as memorable.
Oh, same thing about like so you don't want him to have like the Jeff Hardy syndrome,
right? I think, but then again, with Roman's detractors, they'll try to go out of their way to forget Roman won the title at SummerSlam. If the match was booked, you know, to perfection and stuff, and it made Roman look strong. I hate that phrase. Fuck you, punk. God, but still, I would rather Roman needs to win on a big stage. That's why I say SummerSlam, because it's the second big pay-per-view. It's a big 4 pay-per-view. It's going to be I believe in New York or something. I don't think it's going to be at Madison Square Garden. I think it's going to be in Brooklyn or something. And with that Chicago crowd, I just hope that New York crowd for SummerSlam just is kind of on their best behavior per se. But I would much rather see Roman win at a big pay-per-view rather than some secondary one.
While we're on the subject of crowds for Roman Reigns, that's one thing that I did want to bring up, and I forgot to mention on my Extreme Rules review last night. The crowd for Roman Reigns has just done a complete 180 over the last 2 days.
The Chicago crowd, like I said, they get even the Chicago crowd gave the Bellas a decent reaction, and I know I know how you feel about the Bellas. You ain't gotta make it obvious, but you know,
not just the Bellas, just all divas, how they're all boring and stale and irrelevant.
Yeah, like, what's up with Naomi though?
I don't care how much of a Bella stan you are. I'm gonna keep flaming the divas as much as I want to.
Don't you? But anyway, like Naomi, like what was up with Naomi though? Like are they trying to make her a Sasha Banks 2.0? Like she's got the neon glasses. Like what the hell? And you notice she got no reaction.
I liked her better when she was trashing people. When she was just like, "Fuck."
She got no reaction. She's got no react. She's got no reaction. Like in the 2 weeks she's been a heel. It's like, here's Naomi, whatever.
I mean, she obviously got a reaction from the Britain crowd.
Yeah.
In front of the England
crowd. I think
they beat up.
But you got to think they don't get Raw as much though.
Well, yeah, they only get it twice a year.
That too. Yeah, that too.
They only get it twice a year. So
But yeah, the Chicago crowd was even. They gave Cena a decent pop. I mean, like maybe that was because they rushed the thing. Any reaction is better than no reaction, and even a positive reaction that's even more shocking.
Very true, very true. But yeah, that was one thing I did want to point out because the crowd tonight was very high on Roman Reigns, and that's saying a lot, especially for all the detractors, like you said, that have been flaming Roman Reigns for the last 3-4 months since winning the Royal Rumble, and how much flack he's been getting. It's been done a complete 180 over the last 2 days because that crowd was pretty damn hyped for Roman Reigns, and same for my boys over in Chicago. But do you think that a triple threat at Payback is the right way to go for the title? That was one of my big questions for you too, coming into this review.
I think it was kind of expected, and then maybe, like I said, I think we will. I strongly believe we will get a Roman Seth one-on-one match, and like I said, it needs to be at SummerSlam, and then whatever you do with Orton, maybe you do a Orton Rusev feud.
Orton Rusev.
I mean,
okay. If you want to make the Ryback thing a temp thing, we can go back to what we were talking about in our WrestleMania review. We could obviously go. What did I say? What did we say? Orton Bray Wyatt. Orton versus Bray Wyatt. We could always go that way too, because that would be fantastic, especially with how over Randy Orton's been over the last 2 months. Yeah,
right.
that would be nice. But yeah, like you said, I think honestly it was just expected at this point. There was nothing really for Roman Reigns to do right now. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to feed us another Roman Reigns versus Big Show match because we know how torturous sitting through one of those things is. So,
and then what's the June pay-per-view? Battleground?
June pay-per-view is Money in the Bank.
Really?
Yeah, June pay-per-view is Money in the Bank, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're planning on bringing Battleground back for a July pay-per-view again or something.
Okay, because I'm thinking like maybe you do. I think if you go with Roman Seth, they do one match at Battleground, and then have Seth go over, and then Roman win at SummerSlam. Hey, I gotta take one quick break, so keep talking. I'll be right back, man.
Well, we're actually almost about to end the show.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, honestly, all we have left really is to kind of give our final verdicts. I think we've kind of gone over everything that was important over the show. So, your final verdict on the show. What did you think about Raw tonight? Any highlights? Any down points?
I think all the main topics that we covered. I think that's the most important. And like I said, what else stuck out to me? Did you watch the Bree segment when she talked about Brian?
A little bit of it.
Okay.
That was when Naomi attacked her.
I was like, I don't think Bree sold that face shove. It's like, good grief, she just looked at her like, what the fuck or something.
I mean, well, yeah, they were going to do that whole thing for Daniel Bryan. Like that was the whole mood for the segment. Daniel, I can't be there tonight because he got injured again. And we're supposed to feel for Bree, and that was just ploy so that Naomi could get some more heat, which didn't happen. So
yeah, again, like she got zero reaction.
That's to me as far as that goes. So
yeah,
but your final verdict? Anything else you really wanted to? Was this a must-watch show? Basically, should you watch the show? Because this is kind of like these are the types of videos for people who didn't watch the show and feel obligated that they missed something. So should they watch the show or no?
I wouldn't go out of my way to watching it though.
Okay, same thing here. I honestly there wasn't really a whole lot. I've been using the term 3-hour red SmackDown for the last 2 weeks, and this is no different. Besides the King of the Ring, and maybe the announcement of the triple threat, you really didn't miss a whole lot. But if there's one highlight that I do want to point out before we go off here, it's the Neville Luke Harper match because that was just absolutely fantastic. We're going to be getting a Neville versus Sheamus, and maybe we'll get another great Neville versus Bad News Barrett King of the Ring final. But that's one of the big highlights that I had for me. And my final verdict is the same as Tommy's. You don't have to go out of your way to watch this Raw. We went over the 3 big things that you have to know coming out of tonight's Raw, so you don't feel like you have to waste 3 hours of your life to watch this garbage. But that's gonna do it for us tonight. Tommy, you want to give any plugs to any of your stuff or anything that anything that comes to mind before we head off here?
Yeah, just subscribe to my channel. I'm slowly getting back in the groove of videos again. Like I said, I will try to make an Extreme Rules reaction video maybe Wednesday if I can find somebody to do it. If not, then I'll just come on there and do a quick thoughts and as always, follow me on Twitter, and I think that's about it.
All right. Follow me on Twitter at the PTE Show if you haven't done so. Also, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so as well. We're still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And hopefully we'll have hashtag spoilers coming at you guys tomorrow. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I don't really have anything else to really plug. So I guess with that being said, if you've made it this far into the review, that was what I forgot to say. Our mid video comment. What happened tonight? What's something nice that happened tonight? Don't you dare mention my Bulls.
The Nets won.
Yeah, the Nets beat the Hawks. So
Georgia sports failure. Hashtag Georgia sports failure.
There you go. There we go. Because I was kind of thinking of something. If you made it this far into the video, type hashtag Georgia sports failure.
Unless you're from Georgia, don't slander my Twitter mentions.
Hey, he's from Georgia. He can say that. So.
Yeah, I'm a Duke fan from Georgia, so come at me if you don't like it.
Yeah, and yesterday if you made it that far into the video yesterday, I asked you guys to give me your hockey team, who you guys rooting for in the Stanley Cup Finals or Stanley Cup playoffs, and I didn't get any comments. So, but you guys know I'm a Blackhawks fan.
If I had to pick I'll probably say I guess I'll be saying Blackhawks Rangers just because of everybody's gassing them. So I was like, I'll get on the bandwagon.
Everybody's on the Anaheim bandwagon anyway, so.
I can't believe it'd be funny if the Rangers beat Sidney Crosby and they did the Capitals win tonight?
Yeah, 2-1.
So how funny will it be if the Rangers beat both Crosby and Ovechkin in back-to-back playoff series?
That'd be funny. That'd be pretty damn funny.
Ovechkin needs to go somewhere else. He's not going to win a Stanley Cup in Washington.
Yo, I know we're still on here, but how about that? How about that John Jones thing? You hear about that?
He fucked up.
The hit and run thing.
Oh, what do you think about what do you think about the Ronda Rousey thing? The comments Dana White made.
Something about she can't work a match or something like that.
Yeah. He said it was like a one and done deal. He just, I don't know.
That's just Dana being Dana right now. Obviously, if you wave money in his face, he'll say otherwise. Same thing happens. Same thing with Vince.
Yeah.
You bring out the checkbook and you say, how much do you want for Rousey to work WrestleMania? Dana will give you a number and Vince will give you fucking twice that. So
what do you think about Ronda's
too much?
What do you think of Ronda's performance in Fast 7?
You know this now. I mean, you could tell it was her first movie because she just kind of was
she did
a cyborg.
Well, she did Expendables 3 now.
No pun intended. Well, yeah, she did do Expendables 3. I forgot about that, but you still, she's still very green, I guess. I don't really like using wrestling terminology, but you can still tell she's very green. She really didn't stick out too much.
Not like how Gina Carano did in Fast 6.
No, I think Gina. I didn't watch a whole lot of Fast 6. I didn't finish Fast 6.
I forgot how sexy she was, though.
I'm sorry. How could you forget about that? How could you forget about how hot she is?
I think those fight scenes she had with Michelle Rodriguez were good, were great, though, in my opinion.
I think Ronda's nice though, but it wasn't too big. The only thing that I could take out of that is apparently that should be a message to what's her name, Betch Correa, that she's fighting in August, I think, in Brazil. That should be a message to her. The only way you can keep Ronda Rousey down is if you throw her off of a ledge through a piano. That's the only way you can beat her. That's the only Michelle Rodriguez beat her.
There's a cute little chick in UFC. I think that Paige Vanderzant. I just found out about her on Twitter the other day. She's cute.
She's fighting someone, or did she already fight someone? Maybe,
I don't know. I just saw I was like, she's a pretty chick in UFC. Let me see. Well, of course, Gina Carano, but I don't think she's fought in UFC.
But big question before we go off here, because we are still broadcasting. I asked you this off camera. I'm going to ask you on camera. Mayweather, Pacquiao, who you got?
Mayweather.
We got a Mayweather guy in the house. Maybe I'll ask some more people on here, and we'll get a little poll going or something. We'll get a little pool going for it. I don't know. I'm thinking Pac might have this one. I'm thinking Pacquiao might have it. But thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far,
I was gonna say, just don't let Michelle Beadle know you're a Mayweather supporter.
Oh man, I'll just tell her the Spurs suck.
Yeah, I think it's funny how she I think it's funny how she. You remember early in the year, Colin Kaepernick slandered a troll's mentions, and she was on sports he's wrong, and then she was saying something about he's better than that, and then she's on here trolling back at people. So it's almost you're hypocritical kind of thing.
Very hypocritical. Yeah, their series is tied 2-2 with the Clippers, so I'll just tell her the Spurs suck. So whatever.
And she'll just say, "Count the rings."
Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Thank you guys for listening to our Raw review. And like I said, if you made it this far into the video, make sure you write the hashtag Georgia Sports Failure. And that's going to do it for us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. And thanks for having me as always, Zach.
No problem, man. You're welcome anytime. And Kevin, if you're listening too, if you made it this far too, know that you are welcome anytime as well, my friend.
One more again.
I do want to wish
hashtag one more again.
I do want to wish everybody that's listening to this that's involved in the Baltimore riots to stay safe, please. Got some crazy shit going on out there. So
and also rest in peace to Vern Gagne.
Yeah, and rest in peace to a wrestling pioneer, AWA promoter Vern Gagne. I was in the house when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2006, so that's one of my fondest memories of him. So,
let me ask you something about that Hall of Fame. During Sherry's portion, how bad was that crowd like? Because I know didn't some guy get thrown out for constantly being a jackass?
Something like that. Yeah, I heard about that. I wasn't at the Hall of Fame ceremony. I was at the event.
Okay.
But I heard about that. I heard about that some dude was slandering her in the crowd or something and got thrown out and got ejected from it. And I thought I'm looking back now and I think it was hysterical.
Do you think that with these Hall of Fame crowds, do you think they should go back to kind of how they did in 2004 and even I think the 96 where they had it just strictly family and friends and not accessible to the fans?
Because this review has gone on for so long, I'm going to direct my comments and what I want to say to what Jericho said on his podcast, because what he said is 100% exactly word for word what I would like to say to that. You heard about what Jericho did about that, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, basically what he said about those fans who were heckling the Bushwhackers at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Basically, what he said to those people is what I would like to say about that, because this review's gone on for a little too long. So that's going to be as far as I'm going to take that. So, I think with that being said, we are finally out. I don't really have anything else I'd like to say. Like I said, I wish the best for you guys who are in Baltimore listening to this. Please stay safe and rest in peace to the legendary Vern Gagne. So that being said,
Mhm.
I'm out. Perry the Entertainer for Tommy CB. We are out. Peace.